Jesus is pointing out pride kills relationship. Pride destroys community. Like where scripture says that we're actually to prefer one another. We're to serve one another. How Jesus came and said, I came to serve, not to be served. Now we're going to jump forward. We're going to skip some more things that Luke has to say about welcome. We're going to get to this part in Luke chapter 9, starting in verse 46, where Luke, who was not one of the 12 disciples, by the way, he was a Gentile who later on got with all these people and collected all the stories and wrote. And he wants to tell a story about the disciples that were caught in the middle of an argument. And so we dive in at Luke 9:46, and Luke captures this. He says, then his disciples began arguing about which one of them was the greatest. It's like, really? I mean, what is Jesus modeling to you? I mean, what? I mean, just, really, like, they've been walking with Jesus for a while now. They've seen unbelievable miracles. They've seen incredible things. In fact, one of the things we skipped over was like the feeding of 5,000. I mean, their minds were blown. And yet here they are arguing about which one of them is the greatest. How do you think that works in a community? Probably doesn't. It works fine in a crowd. Who cares? You think you're better? I know I'm better. Okay. But Jesus, it says, knew their thoughts. So he brings this little child to his side. And I think we can just picture this, Jesus looking out and say, hey, son, come over here. Come over here. And he brings him, it says, to his side. And you can just picture Jesus, like his arms wrapped around this little child. And then it goes on. He says, anyone who welcomes, who does what? Who welcomes a little child like this on my behalf is actually welcoming me. And anyone who welcomes me also welcomes my Father who sent me. Whoever is the least among you is the greatest. Listen, pride, which is what they were dealing with, I'm the greatest. No, I'm better than you. Remember how I did this thing, and you only halfway raised that person from the dead. Like I really raised them right, whatever they were arguing about. Like what made them think that they were better. They said the right thing. They had this part of their life all figured out. Jesus is pointing out pride kills relationship. Pride destroys community. And to flip that around, humility, coming just with humility. Like where scripture says that we're actually to prefer one another. We're to serve one another. How Jesus came and said, I came to serve, not to be served. Oh. Humility is the only thing that will allow for this spirit of welcome to happen. And so Jesus does this beautiful illustration where he calls this little child who had what? He had no authority, no resource, right? Kid wasn't loaded with money, had no influence, no status. Jesus called someone who in their culture was really looked down upon as like having none of those things. It's like, why would you bother with a child, right? Because it's all about status and privilege and all these things. So he brings the least influential person right to his side and embraces him. And says, this is what I'm talking about. This is what it looks like. That we would embrace each other not because of what we're going to gain from that other individual, right? From their position, their status. Someone I know refers to those as deal friends. What's the deal? Like you're looking for something, right? What is the deal? Instead of real friends who aren't there to gain something from the other. And so Jesus is saying, no, you need to be real friends, not deal friends. So I'm going to bring the person who's got the least deal going on that I can see. I'm going to bring him right here, put my arm around him. And here's what you need to know. When you actually open up the spirit and practice of welcome to someone who you are not going to benefit from, that you know of, not in that moment, when you open yourself up and you, in humility, you embrace and welcome this one, you are opening the door to me and my Father. You think you're just opening yourself and welcoming another person, but you know what you're getting? You're getting God. Listen, this should blow our minds, right? This should blow our minds. Because we are, when we practice welcome, we are literally welcoming the very presence of God. Community starts with welcome, embracing one another, instead of pridefully thinking of ourselves as better than others. Welcome requires humility.